Hey, what's going on everyone? Zach is back here with another album review. Some of you have kind of seen this one coming, but here I am reviewing this thing. And before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to Tony Bivens. He is now uploading his own content now, his own album reviews and all that. So that's great. Anyway, this review was kind of requested to me, not really, kind of was already going to review this album anyway, but this review was kinda requested, but I would say reminded to me by Mezzy Mez. So yeah, this was requested by him, but I was going to do this review anyway. We are taking a look at the latest album by Vektor, Terminal Redux. This overall I think is a great album, and yes, we'll be taking a closer look at this album because I think it's really good and it's definitely worth talking about. This made a lot of people's top list of 2016, and unfortunately it did not make mine, but I should have put it on there if I would have knew about this album and this band sooner. But I never really knew about Vektor in the past. And, you know, when I first heard about this band, I was like, Vektor. Kind of like my Teleporter Alex series character. The villain in that series. But yeah, we are talking about the band Vektor. They're kind of like a concept band, but, you know. What is my overall take on Vektor's newest album, Terminal Redux? I think it is a very good record. It feels entirely different than anything I've heard before. The one thing in particular that I thought was different about the album, and even Vektor themselves, is the type of metal they perform. The vocalist has a unique screaming voice, even though I myself prefer lower screams than high screams. The screams in Vektor are exceptional for sure. They're pretty much a blend of thrash metal and death metal. I know I have called them black metal before, but I think I have been thinking about an entirely different band at the time. However, this album, Terminal Redux by Vektor, definitely experiments with different sounds that you don't hear too much in a metal album, mainly because this is pretty much a concept album. Track number 1 is Charging the Void, and it starts off strong with this build-up that has ambience and strange sounds, but it flows very smoothly into the instrument work, then the vocal work. It is definitely a great way to start things off. Track number 2 is Cygnus Terminal. I believe that's how you say it. This is another really great track, and it is what I would consider my favorite on the album. It starts off with this clean yet dark guitar note that has such a great vibe and atmosphere to it. So with that said, this track definitely has some brilliant instrument work. It is overall just a track you don't want to pass on. I do want to talk about track number 8, which is Pillars of Sand. This is another really great track in my opinion. The chorus to me is totally a standout. And that is one thing that makes this track really good. It is just another all-out heavy track. The instruments, the vocals, and everything else in that track is well done. As much as I like metal mixed with screams and cleans, this is one track that I come to every time I listen to Vektor. That is Collapse. This is definitely another track you can't pass on. It is a more ballad-like track on this album. There are more clean vocals and scream vocals, so it is pretty much a break from all the chaos that was brought through most of the tracks on this album. But it carries a really good vibe throughout the entire track, so it keeps you interested for a while. The track slowly gets heavier as it goes. The best thing about this track, in my opinion, are the guitars. This is definitely where the guitars get the spotlight on the album, is on that track. But Collapse is just overall a very good track. The last track on the album is Recharging the Void. I actually may like this track more than Charging the Void, but the one thing they got in common are the female backing vocals in the background. I thought those were nice pieces they added in. Recharging the Void is a rather long track, but it is full of energy and really keeps you interested and gathers your full attention. And it closes up the album very good. But yeah, that's my overall take on Vektor's Terminal Redux. This is their newest album. They only have 3 studio albums as of right now, and this is their latest one. This is definitely a good release, I gotta say. It's definitely an enjoyable album. I recommend this to fans of thrash metal, modern thrash metal, that is. I even recommend this to fans of death metal. Like if you're a fan of bands like In Flames or Insomnium, I think you'll find some enjoyment out of Terminal Redux by Vektor. It's very good. Vektor's style is definitely unique, and it's definitely different than most metal bands. And I also recommend this just to fans of the metal genre in general. Vektor's sound is definitely unique, and it's something different I haven't really heard before. It's definitely kind of different than most metal that I've heard. But yeah, this is Vektor's Terminal Redux. I want to know your take on it. What do you think of this album? I think it's pretty darn good. If you see it anywhere, go pick it up, because it's definitely worth listening to. That pretty much is it. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And also, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, see you all later.